National Hurricane Center says a Category 3 storm has the potential for significant loss of life and damage. As Hurricane Idalia caused severe devastation in Cuba, residents in Florida, the hurricane's next target, prepare for the impact of the storm, taking precautionary measures as forecasters warn of a catastrophic storm surge that could result from the Category 4 hurricane. Forecasters alerted locals that Idalia, gaining strength as it moves toward Florida, could be an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm when it makes landfall, likely Wednesday morning. Idalia was previously labeled as a Category 3 storm sustaining winds of 120 miles per hour. Hurricanes are classified as Category 4 when their maximum sustained winds hit 130 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center, NHC, says Idalia could bring a catastrophic storm surge when its center reaches land, likely in the Big Bend region of the Florida Panhandle, CBS reported. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency in 49 counties, with evacuation notices issued in 28 counties and mandatory orders in 8. At a briefing Tuesday evening, he urged people to leave immediately if they were in an evacuation zone. "If you stay hunkered down tonight, it's going to be too nasty tomorrow morning to be able to do it," DeSantis said. If you do choose to stay in one of the evacuation zones, first responders will not be able to get you until after the storm has passed. Tolls were suspended along Florida's west coast, and 50 shelters have opened. Schools across over 3 dozen counties are closed, with many expected to remain closed until Wednesday. A storm surge is an abnormal rise of water generated by a storm, causing it to pile up and pose a significant threat to the coast. The NHC defines it as one of the deadliest hazards of a hurricane and a complex phenomenon influenced by factors such as wind speeds, size, and the shape of the coast. The NHC has predicted a catastrophic and life-threatening storm surge because of Idalia's path. Hurricane Idalia is expected to hit the Gulf Coast of Florida on Wednesday between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time, primarily in the Big Bend area, with hurricane conditions extending along the coast. The storm has strengthened into a Category 4 hurricane as it is predicted to make landfall, with its projected path and impacts shown on hurricane maps. "This is going to be a major impact, so please prepare accordingly," DeSantis said at a news conference Monday. A Category 3 storm, like a Category 4 or 5, is considered a major hurricane due to the potential for significant loss of life and damage, the NHC says. Hurricane watches and warnings are in effect for parts of Florida's Gulf Coast as the storm is strengthening. Florida Governor DeSantis has extended a state of emergency to 49 counties, following a previous one for 33 of the state's 67 counties. Meanwhile, the Florida National Guard is deploying 5,500 personnel and 14 aircraft, 2,400 high-wheel vehicles, and 23 small watercraft to support affected areas, ensuring communities have time to prepare for potential storm impacts along the Gulf Coast. Additionally, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper also declared a state of emergency ahead of Hurricane Idalia, as did Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. "We are taking every precaution ahead of Hurricane Idalia's landfall tomorrow, and I am taking this additional executive action to ensure state assets are ready to respond," Kemp said Tuesday in a news release. The NHC predicts that parts of Florida's west coast, Florida Panhandle, southeast Georgia, and eastern Carolinas could receive up to 8 inches of rainfall from Tuesday through Thursday, with up to 12 inches possible near the storm's landfall, potentially causing flash and urban flooding. A storm surge is expected, with water levels potentially reaching 16 feet from the Wakulla/Jefferson County line in Florida to Yankeetown, if it coincides with high tides. Other areas may reach 12 feet and 6 feet, respectively. Tornado watches were issued for a large portion of the Florida Gulf Coast, in effect until 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Furthermore, a storm surge warning is in effect for Englewood north to Indian Pass, Florida, while a storm surge watch is in effect for Chokoloskee to Englewood, including Charlotte Harbor, as well as for the mouth of the St. Mary's River to South Santee River, South Carolina. What's your thought about that? Please leave a comment below.